If you told my younger self this is where I'd be at 50 something, living in Japan, just doing daily life, I probably would have laughed. Back then, I couldn't even picture what my life would be like at this age. And I thought by the age of 50, I'd be just really safe and predictable. I certainly didn't imagine that I'd be packing up my life and starting again in a new country alone. But here I am, and somehow this life, this ordinary, quiet little life in Japan, has turned out better than I could have ever imagined. It's time for Friday Arvo drinks, and I've got a little white jacket to keep the sun off my arms. Natsumi's coming to pick me up because here in Japan, it's zero alcohol when you're driving. You can't even ride a push bike. I got to say goodbye to Millie. She's been sitting in her pram. She loves going for walks, and sometimes I think she sits in the pram and it might encourage me to take her for a walk. But I'll be back soon, Millie, and then we can go for a walk in the morning. I actually decided to film my life here in Japan and share it with other people, not because it's a perfect life, not because I want likes and comments, but because it's real and because I felt so stuck in a rut. I thought maybe if my videos could help one person who feels like they can't get out or they feel that age is a hindrance, that might help them to also realize their dreams. And that's why I feel like dreams have no expiry. I think as long as you're still able to dream, you're able to achieve. I stopped waiting for permission and I stopped believing that it was too late to do what I wanted to do. So I'm going to take you along with me this weekend and share a little bit more about my story, how I got here and how chasing a dream slowly, imperfectly, with lots of doubts along the way, led me somewhere I never thought was possible. And if you've ever wondered whether it's too late for you, I hope this reminds you it's definitely not too late. And speaking of imperfections, I have a bung eye. I woke up again. Now, the same thing happened to me this time last year. It's not allergies though. The doctor doesn't believe it's an allergy. It's more of a skin condition. And I have seen the dermatologist, but he recommended, because it's to do with my eye, I see an ophthalmologist, which is a fancy word for an eye doctor. So I'm headed into my eye doctor again. I spent 5 months with him last year, just trying to work through this skin condition that I have that seems to be happening inside my eyelid, on the outside of my eyelid. And yeah, it's not very pretty, so I'm going to wear my sunglasses just when I'm walking through the arcade because I'm a little bit embarrassed about it. When I first moved to Japan, I remember being surprised how cheap my medical insurance was, but it was too good to be true. And here's the thing no one really tells you, that your first year as a foreigner, you get quite a discount. The real bill shows up later. And now that I've been here a full year and declared my income, my health insurance has jumped right up. I'm now paying 35,000 yen a month. That's about 300 Aussie dollars or maybe 230 US dollars. At first I thought, wow, that's a lot. But honestly, it's not as bad as it sounds when you understand what you're getting in Japan. I only pay 30% of medical costs out of pocket. So that is all my doctor visits, prescriptions, hospital stays, surgery, dental, and of course, eye care. Some other good points about the Japanese health system is there are caps on catastrophic expenses, subsidies for preventative screenings, and no pre-existing condition penalties. So yes, I have had a bit of a jump in my monthly costs, but the good thing is times like this I can get prescriptions easy and I don't have to worry about medical bills as such. Since I was already out at the Wakayama station, I thought, why not? Let's catch a random bus. That's something I've learned about life here, is that not every day has to be big or important. Sometimes it's just about small, quiet little adventures. And I've decided I'm going to take a little bus trip to the central post office. And it's straight in the center of town, right near the castle. It does feel a little bit random to catch a bus when I could easily drive there, but I thought it'd be a little bit of fun to try catching a bus and walk to the post office from the bus stop. Parking is a little bit limited in the city centre, and I've got a great park where I am at the train station, so I thought this would be a good option. Honestly, every time I see Wakayama Castle and the moat, it feels so surreal. Like, wow, I actually really live here. I have to slow down and just appreciate where I am right now and that I made this happen myself. So, across the road from the castle and the moat is actually the Wakayama Central Post Office. And I'm here today because it's Saturday. All of the regional or local post offices in my suburb are closed. I thought it was a good opportunity to come into town, and I want to buy some traditional Japanese stamps. And these are a little bit rare and hard to come by because they aren't printing any new ones at the moment. Luckily, I was able to get my hands on some traditional Japanese stamps. I have started a postcard club and it's been going really well so far. And if you want to join up, I'll talk about it a little bit later on in the video. But for now, I need to catch the bus back to the JR Wakayama station. I'm walking towards the castle and the closest bus stop, which is just across the road. This is Keiyaki Dori, by the way. And Keiyaki Dori is the street that they light up every year from December, I think, right through to February. There's a brilliant illumination down this street. It's so beautiful for winter. Now, the Wakayama bus system is actually pretty good. That's because we don't have trains running through the center of town. You can see the bus runs quite regularly, and I've got 2 buses coming right now. I use the Ioka card. It's similar to the Suica card, but most people in the Kansai region use Ioka, but they're interchangeable. So if you have a Suica card, you can still use it here on the local buses. It's totally fine, and you can just recharge these at the train station, and you can also do it on your phone, and there's plenty of apps around that let you check your balance. That's something I've really learnt about life here. It's not every day has to be big or important. Sometimes just taking a bus, like a small adventure on a bus, a trip to the post office, it just feels like freedom. And don't get me wrong, these are all things I could have done back home in Australia, but I never did. I don't really know why. What's changed? Maybe it's me and the way I look at things differently now. Now, once again, I found myself at Daiso's little offshoot shop called Standard Products, where things are just a little bit better quality. And I have been loving my blue plates at the moment, and I just need a bigger blue plate for my cooking. And I came across these really nice light plates. They're made in Japan, and they've got a really nice deep color and vibe to them, and they align with the plates that I'm currently using at home. So I am going to reward myself for being brave and going to the doctor again about my eye. I have been feeling a little bit miserable because it's really itchy, painful, and swollen all at the same time. I need a little pick me up. And I'm also doing a lot more cooking with my new air fryer oven microwave combo, and I just need a glass container to cook things in. So this is what I've got as well. And of course, I need a few extra stickers for my sticker collection. And that's my shopping done. Japan's Daiso and Standard Products always give you newspaper. Do have a little bit of a walk to get back to the car, and the newspaper just ensures that everything's kept safe and won't break if I accidentally bang it onto anything. I just can't resist buying new plates. They're not expensive, they're not even really necessary, but they're mine for my little house in Japan. And for years I dreamed of having a house in Japan and living here in Japan. I didn't dream about the dishes specifically, but I love to be able to choose these small things that make me so happy. Another item I absolutely love is Muji's pens. Now I'm going to be writing the postcards a little bit later on. I wanted this nice navy color, and it comes in 2 sizes, 0.3 and 0.5. Now, I generally feel like my handwriting looks better with a really thin pen, but I also like the look of the thick print as well. They have a little page and a bucket of testers. I gave both a test to see which one I was going to go for, but in the end, I thought I'm going to get both. They're not that expensive, and I just love a good Muji ball pen. And I love this navy color, the dark navy they've got. Another little treat to treat myself with today. I only anticipated being here at the Wakayama station for about 1 hour. The parking was probably going to be a little bit more than I expected. Here right next to the station, it's 100 yen for 30 minutes. This is the exact same car park where my car was in an accident where a lady hit my car when she was trying to park her car. I'll link the video up below if you haven't seen it. I've sort of erased that one from my memory now and hope it doesn't happen again. I will save some money because I'm going to cook my lunch at home. And I have a little bit of chicken which has been in the freezer, so I put that on my defrosting plate. And I'm going to add into that some grated ginger, a little bit of soy sauce, a bit of sake, and a little bit of rice flour. I'm just going to massage that all together and let it marinate for a little while. Now, I was super lucky that my friend Noriko got a whole bunch of fresh corn. So she gave me some of her corn, and that's what's inspired my dish today. So I'm heating up the microwave. Well, actually, it's the oven air fryer combo. So I'm heating that up to 220, and I've got Noriko's fresh corn. I've got some potatoes, some onion, a bit of cream and butter, and my favorite vegetable stock, which is just such a yummy flavor. It goes with everything. I've always had a bit of a complicated relationship with cooking. I absolutely loved cooking for my children when they were young and giving them lots of healthy food, and that was a real joy in my life. But once they sort of grew up and started doing their own thing, it started to feel more like a chore, something I rushed at the end of the day. I had to squeeze in between work and everything else, and it wasn't really something that I enjoyed. But here, it feels different. Cooking doesn't just feel like I'm feeding myself anymore. It's about how I've settled into this life in Japan. The ingredients are different, so I really do notice the seasons here because it's very much a seasonal cooking style. So like at the moment, corn is everywhere. It's really fresh. It's really delicious. And so that's what I'm cooking with. It feels like you become tied to the seasons a little bit more intentional. I think that's why I came here in the first place, is that I just wanted a life where I could be more intentional, and I wasn't racing all the time to keep up with everyone else's version of success. Now I just stand in this little tiny kitchen in my little Japanese house and I cook for myself, and it reminds me like, yeah, I did it. I made that slower, quieter life that I always dreamed about. And it's funny because who would have thought something like moving to Japan would make this change in myself about just the smaller daily things that we experience, and sitting down to a yummy lunch with locally grown ingredients. It just reminds me how far I've actually come with this change. And speaking of change, something arrived on my doorstep just the other day, and I want to show you. I'm not showing off, I'm just showing you, look, you guys really made this happen, because actually it's because of you that I have this plaque now, and I was super excited to open it up, and it's taken pride of place in my office. And I'm just giving everything a little bit of a clean down because I'm going to start writing the first of my postcards. So I made the channel memberships available just the other week when I hit 100,000 subscribers. And one of the tiers there is to receive a seasonal postcard. And I've also got the option on my coffee link, because a couple of people actually wrote to me and said they'd rather not join the channel membership. They'd like to do it through coffee. So both options are available, and I'll put it in the top of the comments section. If you'd like to receive a postcard from me, a seasonal postcard, you can either join the channel memberships through the second tier, or you can join through the coffee membership postcard club. And I am super excited to be able to send these out to you. And you know what? I just love writing to people. This is something that we've forgotten to do. We don't write to people anymore. And I'm talking analog writing to people. It just made me so happy to sit here and write these postcards. And now the second part of the joy is actually taking Millie for a walk. And we're going to do a massive walk around the neighborhood, and we're going to finish off by dropping the postcards off at a really far away post box so we get some exercise in. And finally, Millie gets to go on the walk she's been dreaming of, because I've been working really heavily this week and I haven't had much time to take her out. And we're going late in the afternoon. The sun is getting quite low. I think it's about 5:36 at the moment, and the sun's setting around 7:20. We could probably get a good hour plus walk in. Millie's like a gangster hanging out of her pram. Even though it's really hot, I'm here doing it and taking a step after step, even when it's uncomfortable and you're not sure it's working, as in I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. It doesn't feel like anything's happening at all, but that's how you got to keep going, just step after step and make it happen. So dreams don't just happen by themselves. They don't happen in sudden leaps, but they're just ordinary days that keep stacking up and make something beautiful in the end. Just like the rice growing at the moment. Look how far it's come. It's really exciting to be able to watch this literally every day when I go for my walk. I'm looking at the rice and just thinking, wow, this whole process is amazing. One of the interesting things about Wakayama is you're living amongst where your food is being grown. So you're really noticing things, like you're noticing the seasons changing with the fields and what's being grown. And you start to appreciate the rhythm of things growing and how they grow and fade and then start again. Maybe that's why I've really loved living here and getting out on these walks, because you start to think that life isn't about rushing towards the next big thing. Sometimes it's just about being here right now, just watching the rice in the breeze and looking at the trees and how they create shadows on the rice fields. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful to behold. Some people have said, oh, you're really lucky, you got a job and you can work in Japan. And in some ways, sure, I feel lucky to wake up here and walk these streets and call this place my current home. But it wasn't luck that got me here. It was all hard work. And I did give up a lot to make this happen. I had to leave a good career. I had to leave my home country and, of course, my adult children for a life that was a bit more unpredictable than what I was used to. I spent many years saving my money and very carefully watching every dollar, saying no to things so that I could say yes to this bigger dream later on down the track. There were a lot of times where I wondered if it was even possible and was I too old to start something like this. But I've realized now that just the truth is big dreams don't come without sacrifices, and without making all of those sacrifices, it just can't happen. And it wasn't handed to me by someone. I had to make this happen. I had to make step by step, just like what I'm doing now to try and lose the weight. It's step by step. And I'm not lucky. I think it's just determination. And I think anybody can get anywhere they want. It's not luck. It's just going to be up to you. You know what they say, if it's to be, it's up to me. It's very cliche, but that's how I feel about a lot of things in my life. If I want to make something happen, I first have to make the decision to make it happen and take it step by step. I came across this 100 yen vending machine and I was checking out what you could get for 100 yen, but what on earth is this Jungle Man? Has anyone ever tried the flavor Jungle Man? I'm really curious, what kind of drink would a Jungle Man drink be? You've probably seen in some of my other videos, I often run into a lot of my walking buddies, locals who live in the area and exercise about the same time as I do. They're usually in their sort of 70s and above, 70s, 80s, even 90s, walking around getting their exercise or riding bikes. And I really noticed that the older generation here love to get out and about and exercise early in the morning or late in the afternoon. It's something I didn't really see back home in Australia, so it's really refreshing to see so many people exercising here in Japan. Now I'm coming up to the post box now, so Millie and I are going to send the postcards, and I tried to do something tricky, and I tried to film Millie's paw as if she was the one posting the post, and this is got a little bit crazy because as I'm putting it in, Millie tried to climb into the post box, and there was a passerby watching, and they probably thought I was trying to mail Millie by putting her in the post box. It looked really, really strange, but anyway, I've put the postcards in the post box, and they will be, if you've joined the club, they should be with you hopefully in the next 7 to 10 days. Now, as we get close to home, Millie knows. She knows we're nearly home, and she desperately likes to walk home the last bit. So she'll walk home from the corner of our street all the way to our door. I was really keen to train her up to do this because I was always so fearful that if I had visitors over and they accidentally let her out, she wouldn't know where she was or how to get home. So I'm really confident in her now because you watch, as we get close to the house, she knows exactly where to turn in. So she's figured out exactly where home is. I'm really happy with this. I checked the pavement. It's not too hot on her little paws either because it's late in the afternoon. The sun's gone down now. And look at that good girl making a turn right at the right moment. Well, it's been fabulous to have you here this weekend, and I just thought I'd share a little bit about my journey coming here and how it feels to be living in Japan right now. I really am appreciative of you being here, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. See you later. Bye.